I don't think we need to pull out 2 hours on Simba's Pride.
I think we can do it.
I think we should have the discussion exactly an hour and 15 minutes as long as the movie.
I think we need to get into all of it. And it's going to take as long as it takes. Fresh out the oven, it's Cinema Bums. I'm Emmett.
And I'm Wade.
Cinema Bums is a podcast where we watch through every single movie in popular film franchises, one each week, to try and track how the storytelling changes over time. Today we are continuing our mini-series, Can You Feel the Bums Tonight?, covering all the films in the Lion King series. We will fully spoil today's film, but we will not spoil any future entries in the series. Wade, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I wish I had seen a better movie recently. But glad to be here with you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I stan a terrible movie. And today I'm doing especially well because we're honored to have a special guest here. He is a semi-professional movie critic, a grifter, and a dirty, rotten scoundrel, perhaps better known to our audience for showing up our Halloween party in a giant vagina costume.
I did that. That was me. That's right. No. I do, yeah.
It's a Ruben Deception Disgrace Nolasco.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
I've got to say that Ruben is really the realist for being here today, because I texted him and I said, how do you feel about The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride? And he texted me back, I feel big oof, but I'll do what I gotta do.
That's right. A baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do.
That's the spirit you hope for with every guest.
That is, truly. And thank you, really,
a begrudging acceptance. That's what this is.
Just understanding someone's gotta watch the bad movies in the series. Although I did not know that this was going to be
as bad as it was.
Anywhere near as bad as it was.
We could have used a palate cleanser before or after. Like,
well, you can stick around.
You can watch a good movie.
Yeah, I really need
So, Ruben, what is your previous experience both with this movie and with the Lion King series in general?
So I've never seen this one. I've never seen Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. I liked the first one as a kid. Who doesn't like the Lion King? The Lion King is awesome. Mm-hmm. I do remember seeing 1.5 when I was like a kid when it came out. It came out in theaters, I want to say. This one definitely did not.
No,
but this one definitely did not come out in theaters. But 1.5 did, I want to say.
So 1.5 was direct to video, but they did screenings because I watched it in theater too.
Okay, right, yeah.
I think theaters put on the DVD and showed it for kids
because there was no film reel.
Because I remember going to see it and them being on the DVD main menu and then pressing play.
Wow,
for 1.5.
They rolled the VHS for the I like The Lion King. Seen 1.5, don't really remember it, and I never seen this one. And I am glad, that I did. It was a great experience with you guys. But the movie itself.
Did you watch a lot of Disney stuff growing up?
I watched a good bit of Disney stuff growing up, but I know that there's people that like Disney fans, you know what I'm saying, that have seen them all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I never saw Dumbo. And there's a handful that I know I haven't seen, and a good bit that I haven't seen since I was a kid as well.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a pretty similar place.
Right? It's I don't know the last time I saw Cinderella. I know I've seen it, but
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bambi, I saw Bambi.
All those classic ones for sure.
Been 15
the 50s, 60s ones.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a long time. Wade, you'd seen this before, right?
I saw this as a kid. But I did not really remember it, and I don't remember if we had the VHS or whatever. But I kind of had a vague memory of I remember what Kovu looked like, and that it was about him and Simba's daughter. And I feel like when I heard a couple of the songs, they sounded kind of familiar.
I haven't seen any Lion King movie outside the remake, but some of the songs sounded familiar to me too, just I think because they were kind of similar. You know what I mean? Yeah. Definitely got that feeling. So I was looking at it funny.
I did see a good chunk of the Disney direct-to-video sequels. I've got some lists here so we can talk more about those. I didn't see all of them, but some of them I remember as being pretty good. And this is not one of the ones that I would have like gone to bat for as a kid.
May I ask what compelled you to watch the sequels? Because even as a kid, I knew they were like quote unquote bad.
I guess I didn't know that as a kid. I was like, more of these, sure, I'll watch it.
Open-minded about
something to watch, sure, I'll watch it.
It's like, those are trash. You were like, I'll give them a chance.
A couple of them I really liked.
Okay.
I am really excited to talk about the direct-to-video sequel thing. That's very exciting. But before we get into that, I'll just say that I have never seen this movie before. I will never watch it again.
Yeah.
But I am so glad that I saw it today.
Well, what about with us? What if 5 years from now we want to do
you're like, let's reunion, watch this
doing
again.
a reunion tour of this episode of the podcast.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to watch it again, you know?
Look, we're going to have to do the live-action remake
of Lion King
25 years of this podcast
That's
episode.
right. They're going to redo it.
Oh, it'll be like a hologram then? And you'll get to like...
It's going to be direct to streaming.
Okay. This is the part where I try and explain what happened in this movie.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a movie about Simba's daughter, whose name escapes me. Kiara.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt. I actually worked and knew a Kiara. And she was fine. She was beautiful. And she
grows more beautiful every day. That's what Pinky would say.
She was so I would almost say that she rivals the animation and beauty of this line, of the Lion Kiara.
Wow. Are you really going to do her dirty that way?
I found her just as attractive. No, it's just this movie turned me into a furry. That was all.
Oh, yeah. I think I can officially state I'm a furry after having seen this
Sexy
movie.
lion.
I mean, like, that is the one thing. That's the one takeaway from this movie. Isn't it? These lions
have, they're hooking up and they're giving each other googly eyes.
They're giving each other googly eyes.
And licking each other like, whew. I'm sorry, I did get you off track. I knew a beautiful Kiara as well back in the day.
Oh, okay.
So if you started listening last week, this week will be very different. It's safe to say.
Safe to say that the safety rails are coming off of this bowling alley, and we are going full adult episode today.
I'll try to rein myself in. I will.
But that's also what Disney was doing in this film.
It's Disney's fault.
It's Disney's fault. They decided to make a darker, grittier sequel. They really wanted to dig into unexplored themes from the first movie. So this one is about what if Simba was a bad father, and his daughter Kiara just can't wait to be queen, except not really. She doesn't want to be queen. She thinks it's stupid. She's like, ooh, circle of life. That's dumb. And then she meets Kovu, who is definitely not the son of Scar. Guess what? He's definitely not Scar's kid.
They really want you to know that.
They really want you to know that he is not related.
They're not cousins.
They are not cousins. They're definitely. He looks just like definitely
looks just like him, but
they're definitely not related. But he's his heir. But they're definitely not related. And his name's Kovu. He's being raised by an evil mother, and some other evil twisty lions are around there. But he seems pretty chill when they first meet, like a little rude, but like kind of a bad boy energy. Or
James
whatever.
Dean energy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's over there leaning up against his motorcycle, smoking a cigarette, and then all of a sudden they're getting chased by crocodiles. And then
that scene's good. That's the good scene in the movie.
It is the good scene in this movie. She's going googly eyes for him then. And Modesta Nakiba would have hated this. There is no montage explaining them growing up.
That's true.
And then there's just a scene change, and they are adults now. And there is a secret evil plan from the mom of Kovu, who wants him to infiltrate the Pride and kill Simba. And that's like the big plan.
There's only one thing he didn't plan for.
Falling in love. So essentially, Kovu falls in love with Kiara. Kiara and Kovu both get banished by their respective families because the families are all about hatred of the other family. It's kind of got a Romeo and Juliet vibe. If Romeo and Juliet manage to escape and then decide at the last minute to turn back around and save their families from each other.
I like Romeo and Juliet more as like really sexy lions that give each other googly eyes and lick each other.
Yeah, I think it would be. I
think it's more palatable, like more easier to swallow for a 2020 audience to have them as animals.
You know, I think there's the 1967 Robin Hood where he's a fox, which is a very formative experience
for past and future guest Kelly Lee.
Past and future guest Kelly Lee. I think it's time for a retelling of Romeo and Juliet with animated lions that isn't the Lion King. That isn't just like, but is just like them in human clothes, like the same way that's more like
you want like
more
lions
anthropomorphized.
wearing human clothes.
Yeah, I want it to be more anthropomorphized, closer to the furry range and farther away from this
like Beast from Beauty and the Beast type.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Kelly has told me that about Robin Hood. That's like her favorite. She mentioned it to me last time.
You guys are talking as though you haven't seen Romeo and Juliet.
I have seen Romeo and Juliet.
I haven't.
I think it's okay.
Was it better or worse than Lion King?
Way better than this movie. Way better.
It's got Elton John and Lady Gaga original songs. It's a musical.
Oh, God.
That part is pretty.
You couldn't pay me enough.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so what are the quick stats on this movie?
Well, okay.
Sorry, oh my God, I totally interrupted your plot like crazy.
Good. There is no plot in this film. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of retconning on this film, so I want to lay the stage to explain this. If this was my understanding, so let me know if it's wrong. There seem to be saying that when Scar was king, those 15 years that Scar was king in the last movie, he had like more lions who followed him who were bad guys.
Right.
Basically. And he picked, since he didn't have children, he picked one of those lions to succeed him when he died. Which is, what's his name? Kovu.
Scar ruled for a long time?
Like a while.
For a while. Well, like a couple, it
at
was
least
never
10
specified.
years.
Well, however long it takes Simba to grow up.
Lion to grow up.
Yeah.
So like 5 years? I don't know.
But Kiara and Kovu grew up in a scene. So
how long did that take?
I'm just joking. No, I mean, all it takes is a scene now. Anyway,
And so now they're saying, and even though we didn't see any of those lions in the last movie, they're saying that they were there, they were just doing something. When Simba came back, he banished all of the lions who were faithful to Scar, kicked them out of his kingdom, his pride, and they all left and went to the Outlands, which we didn't hear about last week.
Yeah, we never heard about that. It's the other direction from the elephant graveyard.
Yes.
If you're looking out across everything the light touches, and then you get past that, it's on the other side.
That's right. He's
what
like
you don't understand is that they made a second island where they were growing the dinosaurs.
Oh.
It wasn't mentioned in the first one. There wouldn't have been a need to, but that's where they're going.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, exactly. With this retcon, Zira has been making this malicious plan to get Kovu to infiltrate, kill Simba. We already went through all this. Whatever. At the end of the thing, everybody's happy. It's Romeo and Juliet with a happy ending, just like the last one was Hamlet with a happy ending.
And his evil mom
dies.
Bites the bullet.
Death before dishonor.
In a scene very much reminiscent of Gollum falling into Mount Doom to me. Very much that, like... And Wade mentioned this, like, we can't have the hero kill the villain.
Right, yeah.
The villain has to somehow stumble to their death.
But we can't have the villain live either.
Yeah, we can't, like, have the villain live and be redeemed.
Die by their own hubris.
Exactly.
Fall on their own sword.
Which is, like, such a trope. I mean, for so long. And
that's
like,
exactly what happened to Clayton from Tarzan as well. He fell in the vines. And that was really dark, but it was also, again, no one ever did that to him. He played himself.
And exactly, and the same thing with Scar. Scar gets eaten by the hyenas who he like provoked and then burned in the fire that he started.
Whoa, that's raw. I haven't seen Lion King 1 in a hot minute.
It's so good. It's so good. So much like Simba is living in Mufasa's shadow in the entirety of Lion King, this film is living in the shadow of its predecessor and really not living up in the same way that Simba does. All of that being said, what are the stats on this film? Wait.
This film was directed by Daryl Rooney, who is a Disney guy, worked up the ranks. He also directed Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure, and Mulan 2.
Oh, no.
I forgot there was a Mulan 2.
I don't remember that one at all.
Do you think that, like, he was like, I'll direct this if you give me, like, 10% of, like, the net profit or whatever? And he was like, yeah, I'm about to make bank. And then he's, like, broke forever because these movies didn't perform well.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Is Mulan 2 just the dragon?
I would hope.
I'll look it up in a minute, but there's no way they got Eddie Murphy back from this.
No, I
there is no way.
They got Don Cheadle.
They got Nathan Lane back for this movie.
They got everyone back for this movie except for Zazu, and Rowan Atkinson and Scar. Although Scar isn't even in this movie, so he wouldn't have been returning.
And Jeremy Irons plays Scar?
Irons plays Scar.
That's a good casting.
Yeah.
Okay, Mulan 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no way. Eddie Murphy did not return.
But was Mushu there? Did Mushu come back? I'm assuming.
I feel like it was half that movie was probably Mushu.
He really
Yes,
carries.
it was Mark Mosley playing Mushu. An American voice actor, stand-up comedian, and rapper. Best known as a voice double for Eddie Murphy and Patrick Stewart.
Huh. What?
Interesting duo.
What? Eddie Murphy and Patrick Stewart.
Wait, look, he also did like the Shrek games and spin-offs and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and the TV shows.
That's
and
right.
stuff.
Okay, yeah, the Shrek stuff. Well, you said Eddie Murphy, and I was like, maybe he did Donkey, because I know that they had a bunch of spin-offs. So they had like a Halloween set. And
any Shrek TV shows probably.
I don't want to say Shrek TV shows, but I know that they did like shorts and specials.
You guys know this? You know that Tom Hanks has a brother whose whole job forever is just doing the video games and the TV shows and like everything Tom Hanks doesn't want to do. Like he just does the Woody voice for everything that's not the 4 Toy Story movies.
Whoa.
And like that's how his brother lives.
Oh, wow.
Lives comfortably, I'm sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of doing his brother's voice.
You know, I would be totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm totally okay with living in someone's shadow.
If one of us makes
shade.
it, we all make it.
No hot sun. If one of us makes it, we... Thank you,
Exactly. And also, like, he's super rich and has to deal with all that stress.
Yeah.
You're still making enough money to survive, and you don't have to deal with all that stress.
I would definitely...
Yeah, you're just Chet's uncle.
Yeah.
Well, that is shame enough.
Right. I was going to say, well, you said, he's like, oh, yeah, you know if Tom Hanks has a brother? I was like, no, but...
I know
he's got a son. Right. Nobody knows about that. Nobody knows about Tom Hanks' brother. I'm telling you, that's not common knowledge, Wade. But his son,
That's good.
Chet,
Wow.
popping.
We need to talk about Chet.
No. We'll get carried away. Yeah.
Okay, this movie.
We need to talk about Kevin.
Oh, we
Tilda
need to
Swinton.
talk about...
This movie was written by a husband and wife writing team, Cindy Marcus and Flip Cobbler.
No. Let me see that. You're lying.
Flip Cobbler and Cindy Marcus.
Oh,
they also wrote Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas, Pocahontas 2, Journey to a New World, The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, The Secret of the Bell.
Oh.
And they were working on an animated movie based on the Pirates of the Caribbean Disney World ride before Disney decided to turn it into a live action.
Whoa.
And that is not this movie's only connection to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, that's right.
kidding.
There's another one as well, yes.
And along those lines, the music for this, the original songs for this, the music is by Tom Snow, who is a songwriter. He wrote the songs for Oliver and Company, and he also wrote Let's Hear It for the Boy from Footloose. The lyrics were by Jack Feldman.
No idea.
Jack Feldman also wrote the lyrics for the musical Newsies and the song Copacabana by Barry Manilow.
What? That song is amazing. At the Copacabana.
That's the energy.
What? Wow.
And the score for this...
Who wrote Deception, Disgrace.
The score for this one is by Nick Glennie Smith, who is Hans Zimmer's right-hand man. So he assisted in some ways with the original Lion King score. So this is the only guy on the creative team who is not on the straight-to-video beat.
Right.
This is a guy who, they couldn't get
gotcha.
Hans Zimmer back for the score, but they were like, his right-hand man is going to come. He doesn't do any of these other movies, but he came to do this.
You said that guy's name is Flip Cobbler.
That is correct.
You think his brother's name is Apple Turnover? Just straight up? His brother is just straight up Apple Turnover and Flip Cobbler.
Peach Gobbler.
His sister's named Elves and...
This film runs with credits. 1 hour and 22 minutes. I believe it was a cool 1:15. Mm-hmm. And how did we feel about the pacing of this movie?
I'm glad that it was over quickly. I think the pace was good because it could have been an hour and 16 minutes, and instead it was an hour and 15 minutes. And it really, they did a good job, I think, really with the with the timing and I guess it's not quite paced, but
Okay, it feels too long. At an hour and 15, it feels too long.
That's correct.
At an hour and 15, it feels at least 45 minutes too long.
Yeah.
There is not 30 minutes worth of plot in this film. It's not like the songs move the plot along or develop character in ways that ever like returns to the plot. It is just filler. It is all filler, no killer.
Oh.
Yeah, this is really a lose-lose situation where it feels like there's a lot of dead air, but also we are skipping some of the beats you need to see in order to connect to what's going on.
There's a full 25 minutes of Timon and Pumbaa doing the same jokes from the first movie and worse.
Oh yeah. Why was there so much Timon and Pumbaa?
Because they killed from the last movie. Everybody loves Timon and Pumbaa.
I mean, they said Hakuna Matata once.
That was surprising to me.
I thought they were contractually obliged to say it at least 50 times.
Well, I mean, like, you redo all of Circle of Life, but you're only going to do Hakuna. Like, if we're going to redo songs, like...
That's the vibe.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You think it might have been, like, a licensing issue? No, it's Disney. They would have
paid
for it.
I'm sure not.
Just lazy writing.
Yeah.
They just forgot.
Yeah. It was released October 27th, 1998. Produced by Disney Toon Studios, which was then known as Walt Disney Video Premieres. So this is the team that works on all of the direct video.
The C-list squad.
Yeah, these are different from, like, last week we said it was, the 30-second animated. That's by Disney Animation Studios.
That's by the feature film.
A different.
Right. Yeah, I think back in the day they were called Disney Feature.
Yeah. So can you lay it on us? What is the complete list of the direct-to-video sequels?
Let's
get into it. I want to hear about them.
Call me out if you've seen any of these.
I would almost argue that should be its own little series thing that you would direct.
It will not. I can guarantee you it will not.
Painful.
Too many and too painful.
Too many and too painful.
I mean, it's like 36 movies or some crazy number.
There's a lot like that. I didn't think, oh, wow.
Okay, so these are all of the direct-to-VHS. Now, this team also made a couple of movies that were deemed good enough to go to theaters after being intended for direct-to-VHS.
Okay.
So I'll do those at the end.
Okay.
But these are the ones that came straight to VHS. By the way, if you're one of our younger listeners, this is kind of hard to explain. But, like, movies used to come on, like, a physical media, almost like a keychain. Like, it's hard to describe. Kind of like how you need to use a credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except not really anymore. Even that.
It was like the opposite of Bitcoin. It's the opposite of that. It's not.
It's kind of
digital.
like a book.
I hear people are getting back into to cassettes these days. Like, that's the new hipster thing. It was vinyl 5 years ago or 10 years ago or whatever. And now it's cassettes. So it was like a big cassette, and you put it into a big cassette player that was attached to your TV, which was also really boxy and had like a round glass face on it. And like
heavy.
Very heavy. Very heavy. And not very big. And then it would sometimes it would play, but a lot of times like the sound would be weird, or like there'd be some scratchy, fuzzy thing going on with it.
I remember having the Digimon movie on VHS.
I had it too, Digimon.
And he was like, the egg's gonna hatch, and he's holding an egg at the doorway, and he's like...
And they play Kids in America. I remember there's a montage to Kids in America, which is my favorite song. Okay.
Sorry, wrong movie. Sorry.
The Return of Jafar.
Oh my god.
Aladdin and the King of Thieves.
Is that 3?
Which is great. That's 3.
Okay.
That's one that I'll say is great.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, just keep going. Sorry, I can't even.
It's really good.
Can't even get into it.
Pooh's Grand Adventure: The Search for Christopher Robin.
Okay. I have seen this movie, and this movie scared me so badly when I was a kid that I peed my pants while I was sitting on my great grandmother's lap.
Oh my god!
And got us both soaked.
Terrible! Oh wow! Did she start peeing too?
No, I don't think so.
Wow!
But I think everybody was pretty pissed.
Wow!
So to speak.
Beauty
and the Beast: The Enchanted Christmas. Belle's Magical World.
Are those movies?
These are both movies.
That's right, exactly.
Pocahontas 2, Journey to a New World.
Oh, God.
This one is messed up. I remember it. They tried to like incorporate some of the real life story of Pocahontas. Obviously, they aren't going to get into like a lot of it, but they try and like incorporate some of the real life messed up stuff that happened to her, and it's rough.
Oof.
It's dark.
Does she go to Europe in that one?
Yeah.
She gets taken to Europe, and she gets like married to not John Smith, to like the guy who actually married her and brought her over. And has to deal with like racism from people who've never seen a Native American before. And all this stuff.
Did you ever see The New World with Christian Bale?
We watched it in history class.
Dude, that was
in
intense.
middle school. It was
What? I
Yeah.
don't think that's suitable for middle school.
I know. I don't think so. I think our parents had to sign a thing.
It's good stuff. Go on.
Have you ever seen Road to El Dorado while we're on problematic content about colonization?
I haven't, but I would imagine.
Dude, we got it. That would be a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
And like talk. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about a sexy cartoon. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
We're talking about human women, and I'm not interested.
No, that's true.
Does she have like a regular human figure?
No,
I'm
but
not
she
interested.
turns into. At one point, there is a giant jewel cougar.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's very sexy.
Is
Does
she
she-
24 frames per second?
Yeah,
No?
exactly. Right.
She's flesh and blood. Give me something else. The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. Seasons of Giving. Are you guys ready for this next one?
No,
An extremely goofy movie. Straight to VHS.
Whoa.
straight to VHS.
The first one went to
By
theaters?
this team.
The first
Wait,
one
is
was
there a goofy movie and
Yeah.
then there's an extremely goofy movie?
Yeah.
the first one is with his kid Max.
They both are.
And
Do they learn the
Leaning
same
Tower of
lesson?
A goofy
Pisa.
movie is the mom has died and the dad, Goofy, has to go on like a sad road trip and get to know his son across the country.
That's right, and
To
they
like
do like
bury
a
the ashes of
concert.
the mom or something.
Don't they do a concert at the end?
Yeah.
Is that the one? So then I haven't seen
Two
it.
is when Max goes to college and he follows him to college and also enrolls.
Oh,
And
I have not.
It's like a beat poetry and it's very extreme sports. It's very 90s.
Okay.
Max is like in a BMX competition.
Well, that would be why it's an extremely goofy
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
right?
is there an X? Is there an E at the beginning? Is it?
No,
is it
it's
is it
just
spelled properly?
There's an E.
There is. It's spelled
Oh,
properly.
what a cop out.
Yeah, what a cop out, right? I mean, could have gone with the '90s spelling.
The Little Mermaid 2, Return to the Sea,
Wasn't that bad?
which I heard today was good.
Yeah, I was gonna. I whispered. I was like, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't
Okay.
that bad. You know.
Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure. Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True. The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, The Secret of the Bell, of course, because everyone watched the first one and said, what about that bell? A Very Merry Pooh Year.
Okay.
Presumably a Pooh
Winnie the
Christmas
Pooh, right?
story.
101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure.
Oh gosh, another cop out. 102 Dalmatians.
Yeah, like what
This is the
that?
second movie.
This one I haven't even heard of, and it's a sequel to one of my favorites, Atlantis Milo's Return. A sequel to
Wow.
Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which I love.
Atlantis got a sequel.
Yeah, it's straight to VHS, 2003.
Apparently
Next,
Milo
you're gonna.
returns.
Next, you're gonna tell me that Treasure Planet got a sequel, and I didn't know about.
No, wait, it did not get a sequel, did it?
It's not on this list.
It's like, wait a minute.
Wait, but that was DreamWorks,
Wait, because
so-
No, it was Disney.
it was
What?
Disney,
It was?
dude. Yeah, exactly. It was just too ahead of its time.
It really was.
So far ahead of its
It was
time.
kind of like Atlantis, though. So maybe it did get a sequel, right? I mean, they're
It
kind of
was
similar.
kind of like Atlantis.
Okay, I'm going to run through the rest of these because we still got a lot left.
Yeah, sorry.
The Lion King 1.5. Springtime with Roo. Mickey, Donald, Goofy, The Three Musketeers, which I remember being pretty good.
Okay.
Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. Mulan 2. Tarzan 2. This one sounds good. Lilo and Stitch 2.
Oh.
Stitch has a glitch.
No, that one was
Yeah,
that one kicked.
that one wasn't
That one
bad.
was like even better than the first one.
And if I'm remembering correctly, they used that as to start the show.
Yeah.
They had to like get back all his brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
his
yeah,
cousins.
Most of these had shows,
And
too.
then there was
That's
also a
right, yeah.
Stitch 3, I believe. There's Lilo and Stitch 3, isn't there?
Yes.
Not on this list, but there might be from another studio. I don't
Okay.
know.
I remember Lilo and Stitch because all the
Because there's
cousins were
like
all
because they
the
each
previous
get like in
experience.
each new one they get like a
Experience.
different color little guy. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, cool! It's like Stitch but with more arms and
or some weird
weird thing.
All that he's 626.
Pooh's Heffalump Halloween movie. Kronk's New Groove.
Oh my god!
Bambi 2. some doors should be left unopened.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the woods.
Brother Bear 2.
Oh, my
wow.
god! Ditto. Same tagline.
The Fox and the Hound 2. That one must be, 50 years after the original?
Yeah, right. Legacy sequel.
Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. That is a time travel movie.
Oh, that sounds good. I would watch that.
Why do
one.
I want to watch that?
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah,
That one, I
like,
believe, is about like one of the stepsisters being sad, and they go back in time to like help her make better decisions and lead a better life. And The Little Mermaid,
I like that.
The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Beginning. Now, these are the ones that went to theaters.
Okay.
There's just a couple of these. DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp.
Okay, yeah, that sounds
A
right.
Goofy movie.
Yeah.
The Tigger movie, which I remember being good.
That came out that same year, I believe, because I was all stoked about it in 1998, which was the year that my sister was born. And that's how I remember all of those things.
Wow.
Return to Neverland, which is these next two. Return to Neverland and The Jungle Book 2. I remember both of those being really good.
Huh.
And they must have been at least a little bit better if they put them to theaters.
Yeah.
But I remember really liking those. And then Piglet's Big Movie and Pooh's Heffalump movie.
Yeah,
Those were the others.
That was the direct-to-DVD team? I would have thought that was... Because I remember the Heffalump movie. Like, I don't remember, but I remember being like, this is a decent movie.
I remember Tigger movie and Piglet movie being like a big deal.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they did
The
that.
Tigger one being pretty good.
I would have thought that was feature because Pooh's so big.
Do you guys think that going straight to streaming is like the equivalent of direct to video these days?
I think for currently, I think in a couple of years, it's going to lose that connotation. Especially with stuff like, like The Irishman went right to streaming, like Thinking of Ending Things went right to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of like the Disney stuff now. Although those are shows, I can see the movies going on there as well, just because, those shows are fantastic, good quality. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it'll lose its connotation.
I feel like it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like before the pandemic, I feel like it was like kind of similar. It was like, oh, it just like released direct to streaming. Oh, this is a Netflix movie, not a studio movie. Like,
yeah.
Oh, this is a Prime Video movie.
Uh-huh.
I agree that it is shifting away, and I feel like the pandemic and like the fact that so many big studio movies did get put out on streaming only this year, and like
Soul,
Soul, what
right,
HBO did. Like
the Snyder Cut
like,
went right to...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like...
I guess you couldn't show that in a theater anyways, huh?
4 hours.
Accelerated.
Hey, my sister said it was great. My siblings loved that movie.
I heard a lot of people say it was great.
Really?
It was better than the original. I can say that for sure.
Yeah, but that's no.
I mean, it was bad. I'll say it was bad. I didn't like it.
I'm like, okay, yeah. Well,
There's also a difference, but
movie.
like... You don't know this unless you look it up. There's kind of a difference between a movie that is produced for, like that Netflix pays Martin Scorsese to go and make The Irishman.
Right.
Like that's different than like a movie that
Netflix
was
Studios.
already made,
Right,
and then
yeah.
Netflix like pays
Bought
to
the
buy.
distribution rights to it.
Or a studio is like, this isn't going to make any money. Let's see if we can sell it for $40 million to Amazon. Like Without Remorse, the new Tom Clancy, Michael B. Jordan movie that came out on Prime Video. Or the Tomorrow War. Like those were movies that were made by studios, and then the studios were like,
Right, yeah, they were like,
and then Netflix is like, we'll buy it.
Apparently Knives Out 2 and 3 are supposed to go right to Netflix.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's dope.
I mean,
Have you heard the cast?
The cast.
No, I haven't. Wait, can you give it
They've
to
been
me?
revealing them one a day.
Yeah, it's
So,
the cast is fire.
yeah, go for it, Ruben.
I don't know him. I just remember being like, damn, this cast is good.
Okay, they haven't revealed all of them. These are who I can remember at the top of my head. Dave Bautista, Edward Norton.
His face, he's like, yeah.
Kate Hudson.
I remember Edward Norton, yeah.
Leslie Odom Jr., Janelle Monáe.
Right, yeah.
Those are the ones.
telling you,
There may have been a couple more, but
and
that's what I
Daniel Craig's
remember.
coming back, bro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's the one coming, but no Ana Darmus.
No, it's
I don't
a
think-
new adventure.
Okay.
It's
I
in
don't
Greece
know.
this time, but it's still him
But
investigating.
he's going to be the character like Paul Rudd is the character for old Branagh. I love it.
A new case for him. Yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, I think with stuff like this, and I think Netflix paid like $80 million. I think for the rights.
Huge.
It was
amount.
boku bucks, and I think stuff like that. And with next year or two, there is going to be no
no stigma.
no stigma. There you go, no stigma with the streaming.
Also, with like prestige television getting the budget, like prestige streaming television getting the budget of films per episode, like Barry
Yeah.
Jenkins doing a 10-episode series on like adaptation of the Underground Railroad, and that each one of those getting like a $5 million plus budget, I think, or like something crazy where each one has the budget of an indie film, and you're like,
Right.
Yeah, no, I think True Detective was like
Yeah.
$1 million an episode for that first season with
And
Woody
you know
Harrelson
that-
and Matthew McConaughey. It's like,
Game of Thrones was like,
whew.
Yeah.
Well, isn't Amazon trying to do a Lord of the Rings TV show?
Oh yeah,
They
been
paid
working
like
on that
$100 million
forever.
for the they paid again. They're
Yeah.
paying out a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, and they're filming that in New Zealand, like the same way they filmed the movies.
wow.
David Fincher wanted like $150 million to do a remake of a European show. It's really, really dark, but he was asking for too much money, so they're like, nah. But yeah, the budget's going crazy.
Well, that's the other thing mentioning Fincher is that I think you see a lot of like these old school auteurs go to streaming because they'll pay them a lot of money where studios won't, you know? Mm-hmm. Like no one would have paid Scorsese the money to do all that de-aging CGI and make a 3.5 hour movie. Like,
right.
People would not have paid to see that in theaters enough to recoup the cost.
Right.
Okay, so The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
This wasn't a good movie.
Yeah,
this movie wasn't good.
Well, let me ask you.
Well, wait, let me finish.
Okay, wait.
Let's break it down. Why?
I'm almost done. There's no budget or box office to speak of for this.
Right.
And it's also not on Metacritic. We've never had a movie before not on Metacritic.
Oh my God.
I don't know why.
Even the 1964 flop bedtime story did have at least 3 Metacritic reviews.
But I've pulled quotes from the 2 reviews I could find for this.
Okay.
One's positive and one's negative.
There's a positive review?
The positive review is from Karen James at the New York Times.
That rag.
This is insane.
Right.
She writes, "It's the rare sequel that matches the creative flair of the original.
Liar.
The Lion King 2 may be derivative, but it is winning on its own, more than just an excuse for Kiera lunchboxes and ponytail holders." Meanwhile,
What was her name?
Karen James.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
I just want to call her out because I'm okay. No, let me not even. Yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
Stephen Whitty of Entertainment Weekly wrote, "Despite its drawbacks, The Lion King 2 could make a decent rental for undemanding under 7 fans of the original who won't be overburdened by the psychodrama. And for them, hey, Hakuna Matata. Like most sequels, this isn't really a movie at all. It's a merchandising strategy, and no one needs to pay money for that."
Wow. Yeah, much more on the spot.
Yeah.
Shout out to that reviewer, and not the first one.
Not Karen James.
No, she does not deserve a shout out. And I mean, a baby's got to do what a baby's got to do. You got to eat, But damn.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
I mean, you've got. Like, presumably, if you're a critic at the New York Times, you're eating. Like, you don't have to write.
You don't
have to fake that.
No.
Let me just ask you. We've heard what the critics thought, but Ruben, would you say that Lion King 2: Simba's Pride is a flop or a bop?
Oh, big flop. Floppier than floppier than something very floppy.
Okay,
it's floppier
so
than
eloquent.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Is this movie a flop or a bop?
It's a flop for me. I would say genuinely anyone who likes the first movie should not watch this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's really upsetting to see some of the characters do the things they do in this movie. This is really like the Ghost at a Watchman of the Lion King universe.
Yeah.
In that To Kill a Mockingbird, for 50 years in school, they're like, Atticus Finch, is that his name? Atticus Finch was a civil rights champion in this era, and then after she's dead, Harper Lee's publisher slides out this book, and they're like, actually, he's racist. That's what this movie does with almost every character that you loved in the first movie.
Yeah, everything Simba went through in the first, and he was like...
It's like it didn't change him at all.
It didn't change him at all. He's like, forget the Outlands.
Yeah.
They're different. Yeah.
It's messed up. Emmett, flop or bop?
It's a flop. It is a xenophobic, racist, and sexist flop.
It's sexist. It's straight up sexist.
Yeah.
In the first minute.
The first
joke is straight up sexist.
Well, the first 5 minutes, we should say, are the last 5 minutes of the last movie. You start by seeing the last scene again, but in a much worse animation style.
Yeah, that's right. What even?
And then there's girl panic, and then cut to credits.
Girl panic. Can I be really dramatic and be like, I want to start a petition to get this off Disney Plus?
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
We should at least have one of those content warnings they put on Aladdin.
The content, like the Song of the South content warning. This is really bad.
Yeah,
and we're sorry we did this to you. Disney does not recommend you watch this Disney movie.
It's like the Netflix, are you still watching? It's like, are you sure you want to watch?
Are you sure you're still watching this movie 10 minutes in?
Are you sure you don't want to watch Avengers Age of Ultron?
Disclaimer, this movie was made by interns.
Yeah, it's a flop. Really, it's just bad all the way through. There's bad animation. Ruben, you were pissed about the bad background animation. You care to speak on that for a second?
I mean, it was just awful. And I mean, my thing, and part of what gets me is like, there's a scene where Kiara and Kovu are looking out at the outlands, the Badlands, and so and they're looking out at, and it's background art. And they zoom in on the background art, and so you really get to see
background art.
Yes,
it stays as they zoom in on it. Yeah. It's just they've taken the actual camera closer to a piece of paper.
Exactly. And part of what gets me is like there's no animation aspect to that. It's genuine, like you can genuinely like draw a good background, right? So it's not like there was like, oh, it cost too much money. It was like laziness. It was like what, you know, it was.
And something I noticed in the last movie, which I'm not sure we brought up on the pod last week, was that I think the cinematography, not just the animation, but the cinematography of the first Lion King is really cool.
Yeah.
There's like cool shot setups within an animated film, which I feel like that's kind of on the leading edge of that as an idea. And now now you have that in like, it's a must in any Pixar movie that it, like the framing is cool and like dynamic camera work or like the illusion of dynamic camera work.
That's
through animation.
Exactly. That's something that's always struck me is like the limitations of physical space. And you're saying we're going to shoot this inside a room, and so we have to be all the way on this wall or like cut out this wall, put the camera in the thing. Whereas with animation, you can hit any angle from any type of style, from any specific, and then so they have unlimited creativity with the camera angles.
And it's just
it's awful.
Yeah, it's like static frame all the time, people moving across it like bad high school theater production staging of these characters, and it's all in the proscenium like box basically.
I know exactly what you mean.
Raya and the Last Dragon is really all about that. The story is pretty weak, but it's like all about cool choreography. Oh. It's like mostly a fight movie too. It's very
you saw it
kung fu. Yeah, I really liked it.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I want to be clear. Like the story is not very good. It's sort of just tropes and cliches. But I love fight choreography, and it's like insanely cool fight choreography, and they've just done like every cool angle they can think of that you can only do in animation. So that's really like sort of an exercise in just exploring the stuff you can do there. And also, I can't stress this enough, she has a sword that turns into a whip.
Oh, like Ivy from Soul Calibur.
Similar.
Does she have the same outfit?
Oh,
this is a Disney movie.
Oh, yeah, it's a Disney movie, bro. We can't go there. Yeah, Soul Calibur 2 is burnt into my memory. Played an insane amount of time of it on the GameCube.
Is that the one
Link,
with
Link?
I've got that. We could play that like right after.
All right,
this.
well, yeah, let's get back to the pod, bro. Because
okay,
I can't.
so let's rush through the rest.
No.
Just let me. We can get on that right
exactly
now.
Right. I'm about to take these out. It's been really all.
You know the one with the gross little skull cod piece? That one's burned into my mind.
Cut that out, bro. Skull cod piece. Cut that out.
That's not appropriate.
So what else do we need to talk about in this movie?
Damn, this movie was bad, yo. I mean, it was from the beginning, and that first joke really threw me off. It's a girl. Like, what?
Yeah, and then you've got Rafiki, who in the last movie is like the moral, sort of spiritual leader of the community, and he makes these comments that Kiara is growing more beautiful every day.
Yeah, the creepy uncle vibe. He's also got a scene where he just straight up pushes Zuko and Kiara's faces together.
Yeah, he pushes them together several times.
Yeah, so that they can like make out, because he has decided that it would be good if they were together.
And in her big love song solo, she sings, "I may not be brave or strong or smart, but I am in love," presumably. It's the end of that.
Yeah.
Which she has proven herself to be all those things throughout this movie.
Did she?
Well, not smart.
She's brave. She's brave at the beginning.
She's brave
She
and
is
strong.
brave in the
I
beginning,
don't know
yeah.
if she's... I legit don't know if she's smart. I think she's got more emotional intelligence than most of the other people in this film, but she straight up walks right past Zuko while he's standing there and doesn't...
Zuko.
It's Zuko.
Where are the fan base when you need them? This movie has huge "but Daddy, I love him" energy.
Yes, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was. She said "Daddy" way too many.
She said "Daddy" too many
and then it
times.
just started getting really funny, and then I couldn't get that out of my "Daddy, I love him."
She said, "He loves me for me."
Wait, what about when Timon says, "We gotta get a beeper for this kid"?
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes. For me, it totally took me out. Of a already really bad movie, you can't just like totally ignore the... Like Eddie Murphy talking about Tic Tacs and Shrek.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and they do that actually a couple of times in Shrek, but like, this was just that one, right?
Yeah,
like,
and also Shrek is more irreverent. Shrek is more like aware of what it is.
Right,
And so it
exactly.
like has
Like, they
more
have,
permission
like-
to do that sort of thing.
Like they do have like little cars and like
Yeah.
XYZ. Like,
Yeah.
but this one, she's like, we just need a beep. And it's just so odd.
Yeah. I hope that all the Reddit fans who hate The Last Jedi come for this movie for what it does to Simba after his thing in the first movie.
Yeah.
right? Animation acting is terrible, is a note that I have. Like, they haven't even animated them to convincingly be portraying the emotions they're supposed to be portraying.
Yeah. We've got a Chosen One narrative in here. I wrote that
Yeah,
down. So we're firmly in the
that's
90s.
Right, yeah.
Firmly in the 90s.
He's the chosen one.
We've also got a rogue outsider, which reminded me a lot of Sarah Palin in in Young Kiara. Oh, I also thought, this is interesting. This is something that is a real thought about this and not just about how much this movie sucks. There's a thing with Simba having banished everybody and like having caused this problem in the first place by banishing everyone because he's so afraid of them like revolting against him.
I don't think they ever say why he did it.
Because they were loyal to Scar in the beginning.
Now they voted for Scar.
This was one of
They
those
voted for
retcon
Scar,
things.
and now
This was one of those retcon
they
things.
are out.
We've got to try and parse out this metaphor.
Well, that's what I'm trying to
please,
that's
yeah,
what I'm trying to
please,
get
continue.
into. So I think there's something there with like he has banished this kid, and like having banished the kid has kind of like turned the kid into the chosen one, which is very similar to what happens with, you know, like with Voldemort, you create your own enemy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's
I
like
see it.
it's also very much like the King Arthur Mordred thing, where he like has all of the children killed that were born in a certain year because there's a prophecy that one of them is going to destroy him, and then like the only child that survives is of course
The one
that comes to kill him.
Right.
And like obviously it's not as extreme in this sense, but that idea, like that purging of your enemies, and then that one enemy is going to come. And the metaphor in this is weird. It's like not really clear where it falls or like what it means.
Wouldn't it be better if Kovu had any sort of relationship with Scar? Like if Kovu looked up to Scar or like ever talked about him, because it's really just his mom who's the one who's always going
and,
on.
I mean, that was kind of something I didn't get personally, where they were like, this is Scar's chosen heir. You know, how did Scar choose an heir? Like right when he was born?
I guess
right?
I guess when
what's
he was king, he just picked someone. And
Well,
he
then
was
wouldn't that cub have already been born, and he wouldn't be the same age as Kiara? Do you see what I'm saying? Like Simba has his kid.
No, that's a great point.
And then his
maybe he's
kid
supposed to
is
be
the
5
same
years
age.
older than her or something.
But that's even still, it's like hard to.
And that's also never like really. You know what I'm saying? Like when
Yeah,
did this kid?
no, I
This
know
kid
what
never
you're
met
saying.
Scar. This kid, but Scar chose him. This great did he not? It didn't seem like he knew him. It didn't seem like he knew him at all.
He never talks about it.
And
Yeah.
and when he does, he's like, I don't want anything to do with Scar anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas the
Zira?
Zira, the evil mother,
Nuka is the older brother who loves Scar. Zira is the mom.
Okay.
Zira, yeah. Whereas Zira seemed to be like his wife or something.
Yeah. What I have on this from the behind-the-scenes drama is that the CEO of Disney at the time, Michael Eisner, stepped in at some point in production, I would guess pretty far along, and said that they had to change it from being Scar's son because of the implication of incest.
Because he looks just like Scar.
So it was like conceived and done a good amount of production.
As it being Scar's son.
With him being Scar's son.
I mean, that makes perfect sense because when he looks into the water, too, he sees Scar. There's that moment that's very much reminiscent of Simba looking in and seeing his dad in the first one.
And honestly, it would have been better if Simba had killed his dad. Like, that's
then that's motivation.
More compelling.
And if he was a little bit older...
You're asking a lot out of Disney right now, man. You're asking a lot.
I'm not saying they should have done it, but I'm saying
and then that also makes
better.
them cousins. It would make Simba and Kovu cousins.
Yeah, that's right.
And Kiara would be like his second cousin or whatever. They would be actually a generation apart. And so that would be weird. There'd be a little age gap love going on.
Well, so you're going to make it kind of like incest and pedophilia?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Wow.
This is a thing that is like...
Disney's about to hire you, bro. Disney's about to hire you, bro. They're about to call you on the phone right now.
Disney is like always doing that weird stuff, though.
This is a weird thing that is depicted in the first movie and this movie, but never commented upon.
Yeah.
Which is that, like, in actual lion prides, right, there's only one male lion, and the rest of the pride is female, like 10 female. And they show this in the first movie. That's why Scar is like separate from the pride and it's just Mufasa, but they never talk about it.
Which means that Nala and Simba are at least half siblings.
Probably, right? Unless they went to the lengths they go to in this movie to say she came from another pride.
Yeah, they adopted her and her mom from another pride at some point.
Yeah, but they technically adopted Kovu.
Yeah, and where'd they adopt Kovu from? It doesn't make
weird.
any
It's
sense.
weird.
Yeah, right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, this movie series spawned just a whole generation of furries.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I had never gotten it, and then like I watched The Lion King and I watched this movie and I was like, oh,
because like I remember one vivid scene where like Nala's hitting Simba with some eyes.
Yeah,
and I'm like, they didn't need to do that.
They didn't, but they did.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like, it's one thing to have like Jessica Rabbit, and then there's another thing to do that to these lions. Like, that's all I'm saying. I'll stop there. Lola Bunny from Space Jam. Sorry, I'll stop there.
Should we step into the Shakespeare corner for a minute and calm down a little?
Let's pour a little bit of cold water on this with the Shakespeare corner. So this supposedly is based off of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
The one big thing from this that I thought was like made sense of it being adapted from Romeo and Juliet, other than like the very basic trope of like forbidden love from two different families, was the halfway point being the death of a kind of comic villain, Nuka.
Yep.
Who is kind of like a Tybalt / Mercutio stand-in. Also terrible. We need to talk about Nuka.
The absolute worst.
Yeah, he was annoying the whole time.
He says, "I'll do it for you, mother."
Norman Bates vibes from this dude.
He was so bad. He looks like Adam Driver mixed with Pigpen from Peanuts.
Oh, man. Oh man.
Well, you've also got Rafiki, who is sort of playing the father role,
or the priest. Yeah, the friar.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what his
title
is.
The shaman, right? Isn't he a shaman?
Yeah,
well,
in
Rafiki
this,
but in Romeo and Juliet, he's kind of he's standing in for the friar in Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Who's kind of like, I can bring these families together if I can just make them fall in love.
Right.
Go against the rules,
Yeah.
You've got that. I would say this is actually much more similar to Romeo and Juliet than
the other one is to Hamlet. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's part of why the first one is better. Because the first one takes like source material inspiration and then there's like, but we don't have to hew too close to that. We're going to tell our own story. We're just going to, and this is
he gets straight up exiled in this one too.
He does.
It really follows the plot.
He does have
closely.
the Banished sort of thing too. Yeah.
Do you think Lion King 1.5 is going to be Midnight Summer's Dream or something?
No, it is actually Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which is a play by Tom Stoppard about the play Hamlet.
Oh, okay.
So and we will definitely
deep.
Big shrug.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
But it's deep. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I hear you.
They do quote Shakespeare in this though, or like make reference to a quote from Shakespeare in The Pound of Flesh, which is famously from Merchant of Venice. Another problematic direct-to-video from a great studio.
The Pirates of the Caribbean theme music was straight up in this movie.
It was.
Dun, 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 dun. When the water was crashing down, I want to say.
Yeah, and then they bring it again at the back.
Yeah.
Which is that also Hans Zimmer? I gotta look it up. I found YouTube videos talking about this when I googled it. Apparently, it's also in Gladiator.
Oh, that's
apparently
same,
it's
like,
the Lion King 2, Gladiator, and Pirates of the Caribbean all sort of share the same theme.
Same theme.
Yeah.
It's
Gladiator,
a little
Russell
different.
Crowe?
It's a little different because there's like
It is a little different.
There's like a warmer, stringier vibe to the Pirates of the Caribbean one.
Yeah,
like,
it's more tropical.
It was Hans Zimmer too.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And then Hans Zimmer discovered drone tones and never did anything again except for Christopher Nolan.
But this is a thing later too. I remember it's Doctor Strange and some other movie that he also did that year. Again, share the same sound.
Oh, weird.
Maybe it's Star Trek or something. But yeah,
Oh, yeah,
this is
Star
a
Trek,
thing.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Well, he just wrote a theme for Benedict Cumberbatch and couldn't tell the difference.
He's getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
he really
exactly.
he might not just
Yeah.
care. That's
I mean,
what I was
yeah,
saying.
his
I don't think he probably
name,
doesn't care.
his name gets slapped on a movie and he makes like however many millions of dollars. So, Ruben, who did you say is the protagonist of this film? Wait, how are you always surprised by this question?
No, this is a hard one for this movie.
My heart says Rafiki, but I know that it is, or rather, my actual guess would be Kiara. I guess she wants freedom.
Okay.
That's like an
Yeah, the
actual
freedom
answer.
to do what she wants,
yeah,
yeah.
because she that's a big point to her is
Yeah.
like getting away from Simba's
Doesn't-
eyes,
Doesn't want to be
escaping his reach.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a big theme in this of like him
Yeah,
always
her-
sending Timon and Pumbaa after her.
And when
like,
she was young, when she was talking to Timon and Pumbaa, she was like, "Being a princess is just half of who I am." And they're
Yeah.
like, "What's the other half?" And she just was like, "Oh." She told them lions aren't supposed to have consciousness. That's what I don't know what's happening here.
you would not believe this movie. There are talking lions in it. Wait, who's the protagonist of this movie, and what do they want?
Man, I don't know. My instinct is Kiara,
Right.
but she doesn't really change at all.
That's
in
what
this
I
movie.
was thinking, right? But like Kovu,
Though I mean, Kovu makes a change, but he doesn't feel like a central enough character, even though they are kind of co-leads. I guess Simba is the other one who makes the change, and this movie is called Simba's Pride, indicating that Simba has to get over his pride.
Or do you think that it means that like Kiara is his pride and joy?
Maybe.
You know? It's like, you know,
It could be a reference to Kiara as well, and the
Or
way the
is-
first one could be too.
or is it about
Oh, I
Simba's
like
pride,
that.
as in like the group that he
as in
builds,
his ego.
or his ego?
Because
yeah.
at one point he's just, geeking out over nothing. He's just mad over nothing. And she's just, his ego's going crazy. Like,
Yeah.
what was it when he was,
And she says, "You'll never be Mufasa."
yeah, that's right. He was just using you to get to me, which is right, but also like, bro, check yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like it's Kiara, but I couldn't tell you what she wants. Whereas I could tell you what Simba and Kovu want and how they.
Yeah. What does Kovu want? If
I think
if he was gonna
everyone
be the
in his
protagonist.
tribe wants him to kill Simba, but he
He
doesn't.
never
want that.
talks about.
He doesn't
wanting
care.
to do
Never
that.
mentioned,
He
yeah.
just wants to hang with Kiara and learn what fun is.
Yeah, learn how to play.
Fun.
Learn how to have fun.
Yeah.
I wish we would have
What is
gotten a
this
little more of
fun?
his like evil girlfriend who has a thing for him. Like,
Yeah, I thought she was an interesting character when she was introduced, and she ends up being just kind of like a goon.
yeah.
And I thought she was going to have more of an impact on him as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I think there's a
Like a missed
stark.
opportunity.
I think there's a stark difference between this movie and Lion King, and I think that Lion King is like very clear in who the protagonist is and in what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's like pretty actionable and pretty clear what Simba is doing throughout
Yeah.
that film. That at the same time, all of the side characters in that movie are very vibrant and like all stick out. And there's several of them that you're like, oh, I love Rafiki in that movie. I love
The hyenas.
I love the hyenas. I love Scar. I love Timon and Pumbaa in that one, and I do not in this one. Like.
Well, what's your take on this on protagonist?
Oh God, I was trying to escape that question.
Slick, but not really.
So I think it's probably Kiara. It's about her. It's about her accepting her role as queen and like taking over the pride. But I think it gets very muddied because she isn't the leader at the end of this film. Mm-hmm. Like it's not the
Simba still is.
Simba's still the leader. So it's
Yeah.
not about her like coming into power in the same way that the first one was about Simba coming into power. So he doesn't actually complete the circle of life that the first one does complete the circle, you know? And so I think that's part of why it's unsatisfying.
I wonder if there's ever a version of this where Simba died a la Mufasa.
I feel like he
because of that dream
did.
sequence kind of gave you that.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he should have died in the river at the end.
And it could have ended with Kovu and Kiara and Rafiki holding up their kid decades in the future.
Yeah.
Ooh, Circle of Life vibes.
Exactly. And like even if Simba
beat.
what if Simba had what if Simba had died saving Zira instead?
Ooh.
You know? And it's really about him overcoming his pride and making the big sacrifice that brings everyone back together. She's redeemed by like having nearly died and being rescued. Then Kiara and Kovu like are the new leaders of the Pride. I think there could be that could have, I mean, to me that's a much more interesting arc for everybody. Yeah. No, so sure. Ruben, who would you say is your MVP? OTK.
Your
favorite
other than
character.
Kiara.
I liked his evil girlfriend. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, I don't think she had like...
She did get a name.
She get 4 different names in this.
Vitani.
Vitani.
Apparently she's Nuka and Kovu's sister and Zira's daughter.
That just asks more questions than it answers.
Yeah. So who was her
who was
lion daddy?
Who was their dad?
There was no father.
Okay. Yeah, I guess his evil girlfriend. She didn't even get that much screen time. It's just I didn't like anybody else, really.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I didn't like the bird. Characters. I didn't like Nala, Simba. Like, I mean, the bird. You know, there was no funny Whoopi Goldberg hyena.
Yeah,
no. No, big L.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Wait.
Can no one? Can I have my answer be like no one?
Yeah.
No
can.
one. No. Yeah. Okay. You guys were my actual answer.
All right. Wait.
Man, I don't know. I was looking at this list, and I was like, who do I like? And I was like, oh, I kind of like Kiara. I was like, she's the one I can't pick. Jeez Louise. Look, I think Nathan Lane is a really good voice actor. And I was reminded watching this, like, that playing Timon, even with this horrible material, like, the jokes in this are so far beneath him.
Yeah, they are. And he still manages to sometimes pull them off.
Yeah, and he's really committed to him. I think he's the most talented voice actor.
Yeah.
At least of the original cast returning here.
He makes a joke about making a reservation as if there's restaurants in Safari.
Yes. Yeah. He also makes the joke about the beeper.
It makes a joke about a beeper and a reservation.
He's sort of outside the walls of this world in a way the other characters aren't.
Yeah.
Who's your MVP, Emmett?
It's tough because there's no one likable in this film.
Right? I'm like, I don't know.
Like the girlfriend, the weird sister girlfriend is interesting.
Just because she had a lot of potential, she seemed interesting.
Like, she doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but it ends up
the mom is... Zira is not.
She actually even ended up being
good.
a snitch too. Now that I think about it,
Oh yeah,
she sure did run and snitch on Kovu.
God. Wait, Emmett. Here's the picture of the woman who played the mom, Susanna Pleshett. She just looks like an icon here.
She does look like an icon here. Yeah, let's give it to her, Suzanne Pleshett. Yeah, you look iconic. The fit is great.
That is a good fit, and her hair does look good.
Yeah.
She does have a very iconic look.
Yeah,
she does. I can't disagree.
I'm sure she was like 80 when she did this movie, too. Like, cause that picture looks like it's from the 1950s.
60. She was 60.
No one.
Yeah. You guys.
Yeah. Y'all for sticking with us and watching it. Maybe Laura for watching this and not even getting to dish on
that's
it. That's
why
I
did assume she was. Yeah, that's why. So I was like, oh, okay, never mind. I guess she suffered for no reason, huh?
Okay, y'all. Just a couple more questions to get through here, and then we can go play some Soul Calibur. What was your favorite song in this movie?
Deception.
Disgrace. Deception.
Disgrace.
Okay, here's the list. We've got He Lives in You.
Oh yeah.
We Are One.
Mm-hmm.
My Lullaby, which is the villain song. Upended, which is the love ballad. Well, no, it's really the Kiss the Girl style.
Yeah, the Kiss the Girl Rafiki. Yeah, he's playing Sebastian, the crab, with
really
the Jamaican accent, Kiss the Girl, smushing them together and everything.
One of Us, which is Deception, Disgrace, and Love Will Find a Way, which is sort of the 90s love ballad that they've tacked onto this.
Love will find a way.
That's I am not strong or smart or a good character, but I am in love.
I feel, therefore I am.
Love will break through boundaries, sometimes violently, sometimes catastrophically, but Love will find a way. What was your favorite song?
That was my.
Oh,
what was
did you
it?
like
Is,
that one?
Which
what
one?
was the
One of Us?
One of Us.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
that was. It was.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna sample that
That
for a
one
track
kicked.
in the future.
Yeah.
Deception. Wait.
Yeah, it's also One of Us. It's the best one on there.
Yeah.
I wish Simba had a solo in it. It feels like it's building to that.
Yeah.
The other one, I kind of liked We Are One, which is the song Simba sings to Kiara.
Yes,
That was the only other one that I kind of liked.
that was my choice when I heard it, but then I heard.
I really liked the beginning of He Lives in You.
Yeah.
But then it gave me major Christian rock vibes, so I was out later. Later on, when I heard the lyrics, I was like, maybe not. You know what I mean? Like,
I
he
do
lives
know
in
exactly
you, he
what you
lives
mean,
in me. And like, there's a lot of like the sweet love of Jesus entering these lions in this movie. It's pretty messed up.
I think there's some sweet love, but I'm not sure if it's of Jesus variety.
Right. Drop those
No, when the
last
sun
two
comes
words.
down and touches Simba's face and he
Yeah,
forgives.
that's weird.
That part is so weird.
But wasn't he talking to Mufasa?
You talking to Mufasa?
But Mufasa is much more of like an active presence in this movie than he was in the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He was. Yeah,
He's got those,
Rafiki
like,
was
little
straight up talking
dust.
to him. He
talking
was
to the
like,
dust
He's got the
Mufasa.
wind.
Yeah.
So what's yours, Emmett?
Also one of us.
Yeah.
One of us.
I mean, we all started acting that way.
Deception.
It's great.
I've got a little bit of behind the scenes drama that we haven't yet covered. Not much. But in January 95, right after, so I guess 6 months after the first movie came out, they said that they were going to have a direct-to-video sequel out in the next 12 months. Mm-hmm. But I guess they ended up deciding to take their time with it.
Oh, good.
This is what happened.
This was them taking their time?
Yeah, this was 4 years after the original movie.
4 years?
Yeah. Which I think is really notable. All of the cast comes back except for Zazu. Mm-hmm. Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
Apparently, the first choices were Sarah Jessica Parker and Jennifer Aniston for Kiara.
Wow.
94. But it ended up going to Neve Campbell, who's the lead in the Scream movies.
Oh.
Have you ever seen Scream?
I saw the first one, but it's been a hot minute. I've seen the original Scary Movie more recently, where they parody Scream.
Was it good?
Oh, the first Scary Movie was really good. It was fantastic.
I need to watch them.
That's interesting because Scream is also kind of a parody of horror movies.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, and
So
I think that's one of the reasons. I think that's one of the reasons why, and that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
Like one of the opening jokes is like she's running away from the Scream dude, and she comes across this table and it's like pick your weapon, and there's like a knife, a gun, and like a grenade, and then a banana. She grabs the banana, and she's like ah, and runs away. You know, very silly stuff.
That's funny. I think probably a lot of our listeners may have not seen Scream, but I think they would really enjoy it if they checked it out.
Yeah.
There's 5 of. There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's
of
4.
There's 4.
There's 4, and there's a 5th one coming out next year.
Ah, there it is. Okay, I was going to say it right. I swore.
Lebo M is a South African musician.
Oh yeah.
So he's singing on the original Lion King soundtrack, but he doesn't write the music for it. But the year after the Lion King comes out, he puts out an album called Rhythm of the Pride Lands. Like original songs he wrote inspired by the Lion King. And that includes the song He Lives in You, which then gets put into the musical, which is 97, I want to say, this film in 98, and also into the remake.
Wow.
And this guy also works on the soundtracks and sort of the scores for everything that comes after.
Wow.
That's just like a little connection.
Cool.
Even though we don't have Elton John and Tim Rice coming back to write these songs. Disney thought this movie was going to be so popular that they shipped 13 million copies of it on release day, which ended up being an overestimate. But by 2001, so I guess in the span of 3 years, it sold 15 million copies and was one of the highest selling VHSs.
Well,
of all time.
wow. Of all time?
The studio head, Jeffrey Katzenberg, was so bullish about making all of these direct-to-video sequels to every movie and all these tie-in TV shows and these McDonald's toys and stuff that it was what made them a ton of money, but also sort of what leads to the end of the Disney Renaissance because you've just got this oversaturation.
It's just glutted people with terrible films.
It's pretty wild. Like, imagine if after Frozen, because like Frozen was as big as The Lion King, right?
Yeah.
They had been like,
Bigger.
Okay,
But sorry.
it's certainly unadjusted for inflation bigger.
Oh, yeah.
But Lion King made $1 billion back in 94.
Did it?
Yeah.
Or is that like up till now?
No,
That was box
that
office.
was theatrical box office. Was like 960 million.
What?
It was like
And they-
it was
and
like
they
600 million more than anything else made that year.
And then they spent $960 on the sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
What's that
Imagine
about?
if they had put Frozen 2 straight to YouTube. That's what this is.
Thank you. There you go. It's not direct to streaming. It's direct to YouTube movies.
Direct to
is
YouTube.
the-
YouTube original.
YouTube original movies. Yeah.
Oh man.
God, we would be lucky.
I
to
had
get
no
a
idea the Lion
contract
King
from
was so
YouTube.
big. Although I guess it makes sense.
This is the last thing. So there's a modern cartoon, I think it came out in 2015, called The Lion Guard. If you listened to last week's episode, you heard a lot about this. This TV show, there's 3 seasons, and it's about Kion, who is the second-born child of Simba and Nala. He's their son, and there's a whole TV show about him that's a modern TV show.
Kiara's little brother.
Yes, Kiara's little brother.
Okay.
It takes place between 1 and 2.
Wait, so then where was he for this movie?
So the finale, the series finale of The Lion Guard is like a TV movie that explains where all of those characters were while this
Okay.
movie is happening. It happens concurrently with this movie, and they explain all of that stuff.
They were really like, we got to retcon the retcon.
Yeah, exactly.
real.
That's
It was
exactly
like-
what that was.
For real.
like,
It was retcon of the Jedi 3 over
It took
here.
them 20 years to watch the second movie that they even made. Disney didn't even watch it, and then when they finally saw it, they were like, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't even make any sense. And then they were like, we have to, like, fix this somehow, right? Or no? Or...
Okay, let's wrap this bad
All right,
boy
let's
up.
wrap this bad boy up.
Ruben?
Wait, what?
They made a joke that I didn't understand, that Timon and Pumbaa about the bugs, and they referred to it as the other white meat.
Oh, I can explain this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so chicken
Yeah.
is considered white meat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As opposed to pork and beef, which are considered red meats.
Yeah.
The joke there is that pig is like pork is considered to be the other white meat because it's a lighter red meat.
Okay.
And so then they're saying, oh, bugs are the other white meat.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But the rapper, MF Doom, may he rest in peace.
That's literally what I was thinking of.
He like talks about the other white
Yeah,
meat.
exactly.
Which
It's
is
not
people.
The other,
Which is people because people taste like pork. That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
whole,
and
like
so
that,
that's
so, like, so many layers.
That was
to it.
where I went immediately was the MF Doom line, and
Yeah.
I was like, the other white meat?
Yeah.
Bro, what? And I was like, he can't be making that joke. This is a kid's movie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So, all right, no, that's a lot more. Makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Also, my personal final note is we shouldn't glamorize dangerous, super dangerous animals like lions, rhinos, and hippos because they're really dangerous, and
Yeah,
people are like,
people get
Lion
killed by
King
them.
all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
apparently hippos are like they look comical, but they kill people all the time.
Yeah.
And you got like singing rhinos and like dancing little hippos, and I was like, those are dangerous animals.
Dangerous animals.
You wouldn't turn a gun into an animation and then have it like, well, anyways,
Well,
dramatic.
You wouldn't steal a car.
You wouldn't,
okay, so just to wrap this up, we've got a little quiz.
right?
It's called The Main Event. I have 10 lions from pop culture,
Okay.
and I'm just going to give you hints and try to get you to guess who these 10 lions are. None of them are from the series The Lion King.
Okay.
Almost all of them are actually lions. Some of them are people with lion-related names.
Okay.
But most of them are real lions. Okay. All right, first up on this quiz. This lion is from a pretty old children's book series.
Aslan.
That is correct.
Is this like a
This is not
contest?
competition.
Oh, I
This
was
is-
like,
you're collaborating.
We're collaborating.
To try and
You
beat
got
the
that so
quiz.
quick.
This is the alter ego of a famous musician.
Snoop line.
Correct.
Oh. The Snoop Lion album is really good.
This next
His reggae album is really good.
What about was
You
it
listened to his
Snoopzilla
reggae?
after
There
that?
was
or-
Snoopzilla.
Yeah,
after
that was like the
yeah.
funk period, right?
Yeah, but I think he's done. I think he's Snoop. I think he's releasing stuff.
He's done.
This next lion is also from another animated film. This movie.
Madagascar.
That's what I was. Yeah.
Yes, do you remember
What's his
that
name?
lion's name?
Alex the Lion.
That is correct.
I directed Madagascar Junior one summer. So
I was gonna
that's what
say
I know.
Ray Romano.
See, I didn't know that.
Isn't that-
Chris
is that-
Rock, right? Wasn't he?
This next lion is perhaps the most widely viewed lion of all time.
The MGM lion.
That is correct.
Wow, that was a good pull.
Yeah, that was a good pull. This next lion is also from an animated film. It's an animated film that we discussed earlier in the episode. And this lion is also playing a historical figure.
We discussed the film earlier in the episode?
Mm-hmm.
Is it another straight-to-DVD?
It is not.
Is it a Disney movie?
It is a Disney movie.
Okay, playing a historical figure. The lion is like, as a character?
Robin Hood. The lion from Robin Hood. King Richard. Isn't King... He plays the king from Robin Hood, right? Is a lion, isn't it?
That is a character later on down in this list. Richard Lionheart, the historical figure.
Richard the Lionheart.
This is actually a different character from that same movie that movie that I was thinking of in this. On this
different
question.
Lion.
Can I dial a friend?
Yeah.
I don't know what Kelly's up to. I don't know what Kelly's doing. I was about to ask her.
Is it like a jester
Are there any
or something?
other lions?
No, it's
he plays a historical figure.
Okay, I'll give you a huge hint. It is the younger brother of Richard Lionheart.
I'm not as
I
familiar.
haven't seen Robin Hood in a hot minute. I'm sure the Cowardly Lion is one of those, by the way. But
putting numbers on the board.
Damn.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, it's from Robin Hood, right?
Prince John, the phony king of England, who's played by a lion without a mane in that film. So Disney once again coding the villain as either queer or female in a male, like pretending to be male, in a weird sort of way.
Yeah. Disney's kind of weird.
Okay, so the next one is also from a famous book series, an adaptation of a famous book series.
Okay.
As opposed to a lion playing a person, this was a person playing a lion.
Wait, in universe?
In the movie, there's a person in lion makeup playing a lion.
Is it the Wizard of Oz, the Cowardly Lion?
It is the Cowardly Lion from the Wizard of Oz.
Nice.
This next one you're never going to get, and I put it on this list just because I think it will make you laugh when you find out who it is.
Okay.
This lion was famous in the 1970s for begetting lots of lion cubs. This was a real lion. A real actual lion in a zoo. Famous for begetting lots of lion cubs on multiple lionesses. Mm-hmm. So famous for this that there was a movie made about this lion and his secret. He shares a name with a famous psychiatrist.
Sigmund?
No. A famous, also fictional psychiatrist.
What? I don't know any fictional famous psychiatrists other than the one from The Sopranos, Dr. Melfi.
Is Secondhand Lions on this list?
Secondhand Lions is not on this list, although I wish it was.
His little secret.
Yeah.
Little
okay.
secret.
You're never going to get it.
Yeah. We're not.
Frasier the Sensuous Lion.
Wow. Frasier was a psychiatrist. Yeah, I would not have to.
As Ruben would say. Big L.
Big L, yeah, big L on us.
The next one on this list is from a famous animated series. Was the leader of a famous animated superhero group.
An animal superhero group?
An animal animated superhero group. I want to say 80s and 90s is the era for this.
Oh, is it the Thundercats?
Wow.
It is, but you have to pick the name of the leader.
Oh.
Trevor?
Dang. No, it's not Trevor. It's, I remember watching the remake. They remade it. They remade the show. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They redid the Thundercats. And I remember loving that remake.
Yeah.
It's easier than you think it is. This name is easier to guess than you believe.
Thunder?
No.
Alex Thunder?
Lionel?
Very close.
Leo?
Very, also pretty close.
His name is Mr. Lion. no, like, Lionel.
Are
Leonard?
you ready to...
Yeah.
Leon?
Give it to me. Leon!
Y'all are so close. It's Lion-O.
Lion-O.
Lion-O. All right, this is the last one. This is the last
There's
one.
a
Number 10.
Panthero, too. How did I not think of that?
This one is from a famous animated Christmas special. This lion is also a Lion King. This lion rules...
This is a standalone Christmas special? It's not based on anything?
I mean, it is based...
It's like a movie series.
But it's based on something, but it's a standalone special.
Okay. Is it based on a TV show?
No, it's not based on a TV show. It's based on an old story.
Okay.
But it's a standalone, like, TV Christmas special.
But it's not Peanuts.
It's not Peanuts.
It's not The Grinch.
It's not The Grinch.
Thinking of famous Christmas specials.
Think...
Heat Miser?
Oh, you're getting closer.
Is it in that, like, claymation?
It is in that claymation vibe.
Okay.
This is perhaps from the most famous of those claymation movies.
Oh, is it the one, the Island of Misfit Toys?
It is the ruler of the Island of Misfit Toys.
Dude,
Do you
you're coming in
remember
so
his name?
clutch. I did not know a lot of these.
Do you know, Ruben? Do you know
No,
who this guy is?
no, I have no idea. The Rudolph.
You've got the character, you just don't have the name, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
His name is King Moonracer.
I never would've gotten that.
The winged lion with the crown.
Wow.
And that concludes the main event. I think you guys did, on the whole, better than you did worse. So congratulations to you. You have won the game. Ruben, before we go, is there anywhere that the people can hear your lovely voice, see your movie criticisms?
Oh, yeah. I have a letterboxed. It's Ruby Tuesday and a bunch of numbers.
Okay.
Okay. Well, numbers can't be inappropriate.
Right. Well, I mean, like it's Ruby Tuesday 69 420 is not inappropriate.
Those are just numbers. I don't know what they mean.
That's what. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ruby Tuesday 69 420 on Letterboxd.
All right.
I write some interesting reviews, I think.
Well, we talked some interesting reviews, we think. So we're all in the same business here. Thank you so much.
Yes,
for being
thank you so
us.
much, Ruben.
Oh, my bad.
Really
It's actually Ruby Diamond 69.
Ruby Diamond 69
yes,
420.
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
Ruben, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
coming in. I can't imagine anyone else who would have watched this movie with us.
Y'all definitely tricked me, but it's all right.
I would have said I did not know how bad this was going to be.
I could not have imagined it would have been this bad.
No.
And I was scared. I was scared going in that it was going to be bad, and I still didn't think it was going to be this bad.
I was like, I mean, there were very few good of the sequels. I'll have a good time with you guys, So
you accepted it with grace. You did not react poorly to the quality of this movie.
Oh no, I mean, like I said, I mean, like if you guys were like, watch this alone, make notes,
right,
and then come back to us, I would have been significantly more like, oh. But being able to be with you guys,
Well, thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week when we discuss The Lion King 1.5.
Mm-hmm. Let's pray for better times.
We'll pray for better times.
Well, couldn't be better times, but better movie.
Yes.
Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Stay frosted. Cinema Bums is a production of DKG Podcast. It is created and produced by Wade Lawrence Holloman and me, Emmett Temple. Wade also edits and mixes this podcast. Our theme music is by Zane Holloman, who you can find on Bandcamp, and our show art is by Autumn Beckner. Our social media is managed by Laura Bennett. If you like what you hear, please tell all your friends and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, the 2 best ways to spread the word about our work. You can also follow us on Instagram at CinemaBums or email us at cinemabumspod@gmail.com. Don't flake on us. We'll be back next week.